black man with the quickness. You already dead and you died from a sickness. But a sickness can't be cured with the right stuff, and there ain't no stuff that's quite like us. We got the medicine Muhammad gave us, the only thing on the earth that can save us. So bring us back to life from the dead and replace the chains in our brains with a new head full of truth to make falsehood disperse and run away from the God of the universe. Follow the FOI when you know why. The truth for fruit in suits and a bow tie. Have the cure for when we deliver it. The Uncle Toms and the so-called niggas get jealous and tell us y'all must be crazy. Nobody but Jesus Christ can save me.
Love is the truth. The minute you listen, I'm talking to you.
Great day, another opportunity. I want to welcome everyone to A Rich Education Podcast, episode 7. And as always, bringing fire, bringing value, bringing current and relevant information to the platform. And for today, we have my great brother, Khabir Muhammad, CEO of Creditfixrr. When I tell you guys, we got a great show today. Oh my God, so much value that's going to take you into the future, and the future is today. Brother Khabir Muhammad, can you hear me, sir?
Yes, sir, I can. Can you hear me okay?
Oh my gosh, loud and clear, brother. I'm so grateful to have you here at A Rich Education Podcast today, brother. How are you and that beautiful family doing, brother?
Oh man, all praise be to Allah, man. The family are doing extremely well. Thanks to Allah, great support, great family. Man, everything's great on my end.
Hey man, I've been seeing you, brother, and I'm so excited to hear that. But I say my brother was shooting golf one day. I was like, look at my brother, the true definition of freedom, dear brother. And I'm so excited. And success is also for the amazing success that you're having, dear brother. Success is also based on the mate that you choose, and you've most definitely chosen a great mate. Beautiful family. Congratulations to that next leader that's preparing to come into the world, brother. I'm so excited for the children. When I see them, they're always smiling and looking good, just like you look good, dear brother. And we're gonna have an amazing show today. I can't thank you enough for joining us, brother. As we get here, and you got that beautiful shirt on right there, Creditfixrr, brother. Look, because I'm so excited, brother. It was weeks ago when I saw you, got the chance to see you in person, and you told me that you were gonna put the foot to the metal. And since then, you've been grinding. I mean, the true definition of grinding. But the audience has to know what that shirt represents. And we got the CEO here. Could you just share a story behind Creditfixrr, and how it came about, and particularly the motivation that drove you to create this empowering software to repair credit?
Yeah, Creditfixrr really, I guess, initiated out of the thought of empowerment. I at a time where I felt like, I was powerless in regards to credit. I had no idea how powerful credit was and how much power I had to control it and how I could leverage it. And, this started back 6 years ago now, I want to say. My wife and I, we were striving to get some credit. We're striving to get a new home. We were looking to get, new cars and stuff like that. And credit plays a major role in you doing these things. And so at the time, we had paid someone $1,500 each to fix our credit. And we paid that person that amount of money. And, us not having any knowledge in regards to or understanding about credit, we did so. We felt like we were going to get the results we were looking for. Turns out we didn't. And we were about to do it again. And so what I did was I reached out to a friend of mine, and he was fixing credit for other people. And I'm like, man, if you could do it, he like, man, Khabir, you could do this yourself, really. Like, he was like, man, check out these books. I found a brother by the name of Corey P. Smith. I always shout him out, man. I don't,
I think I've heard you shout him out before.
Yeah, I always, he's a brother, so I'm always gonna, shout us out for sure. But he had a book, and at the time, in my mind, I'm so like uninformed about credit. I'm thinking that credit bureaus, because that's what they call them, but the actual term for them is credit reporting agencies. They're not a bureau at all. But I'm thinking the bureau, they're part of like the FBI, CIA, the government and stuff. So I'm like,
yes,
I don't deal with them.
Yes,
I don't even want to mess around over there. So when I read his book, he basically broke it down like, man, these ain't nothing but for-profit companies that are collecting information about consumers and selling it to banks and banks. And it's basically data. They're basically collecting data about consumers and selling it. And so he basically told his story how he was getting items removed from his credit report and friends and family. And he was just demolishing these credit bureaus. And I'm talking about the TransUnions, the Equifax, Experience, etc. Right?
Yes, sir.
Once that myth got diminished out of my mind about who they were, I was like, oh, let me get busy. Let me try this out. So he had templates and stuff like that. Back then, it was like 609 letters and stuff like that. And I used them, and we were able to get inquiries removed, collections removed, and stuff like that. We didn't have much on our credit. And that was another thing. We didn't realize that we didn't have bad credit. We just didn't have no credit. And a lot of us have a misconception about like they might have a 500 or 650, and they're like, man, my credit is bad. No, you just don't have any credit. You haven't applied for credit. You don't have a structured credit profile. And so once I got that knowledge, man, I started fixing my own credit, fixing my friend's credit. And there was a situation where I was like, man, I'm tired. I'm tired of filling out PDFs, copying names here, socials here, uploading information. I was like, okay, let me take my software development skills. And just backstory, I'm a software engineer by trade or by profession. And
yes, sir.
Hacker as well. That was like the professional side of me. And so I had that background. And so once I came into this knowledge, I saw the problem that I faced, which was copying and pasting these names and stuff into Word documents. And I was like, you know what? Let me create a PDF generator that's going to automatically pre-populate these documents for me. That way I can get them out faster.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. So I started there, and then, fast forward 5 years later, I created an entire like CRM.
Wow, brother. And I don't know if you remember this, and thank you for sharing that with us. Years ago, you and I sat down and downstairs in the library, and we were talking about precious metals. We were talking about crypto. When did Creditfixrr come about after that time, brother? Because, I mean, you've been an entrepreneur for so long, but I don't know if you remember that meeting we had. When did Creditfixrr come about after that, like the time frame?
I actually think it was Starbucks, or we were sitting outside. We were sitting at a Starbucks, I believe. I want to say, but
it was a coffee shop, though. But I don't know if it was Starbucks. Yes, sir.
It was a coffee shop, but yeah, that actually I was actually building Creditfixrr at that time.
Wow, brother. Wow. And I want to apologize to the community that I didn't even speak on the title of this, and this is what really piqued my interest to develop the title for today's podcast, episode 7 with you, brother Khabir, was that I saw you being interviewed. You've been on so many shows recently, some top niche shows. And when I basically came up with the title for today's podcast was basically Creditfixrr Unveiled, from offered millions to empowering millions. I said, hold on, bro. So my brother gotta have an amazing piece right here, because you turned down a substantial amount. Now you turned down that substantial offer for Creditfixrr. What made you decide to keep the software, and what has been the impact of that decision on your journey and the people you aim to help?
Yeah, I think, the underlying mindset behind that is the teachings that we have, being in the Nation of Islam, the Farrakhan, he had been offered billions, to go overseas and teach overseas. And, being under this teaching has shown me that, we are so much more powerful than things. And that's where the true power lies, is ownership. And so when I was offered that amount, it wasn't very difficult for me to actually decline that amount. And I'll go into why I actually declined it, but I just want to, preface it with that mindset. It's rooted in that mindset. But when I was for those who don't know, I got accepted into a incubator, which is like a tech incubator, and a lot of companies come out of this incubator in Atlanta. It's called Atlanta Tech Village. And so I got accepted into it. And in fact, Calendly came out of there.
Calendly.
Who sold that Calendly software for couple $2 billion he sold it for.
Okay, so that was a brother who invented Calendly.
Yes, it was.
He
Yeah.
sold it for a couple of billion.
Right. So I just wanted to point that out. So I'm just letting you guys know, like, this is a big thing to be inside of this incubator. And so I get in, and the guy's like, man, mind you, I bootstrapped it. I put my own money up. I've never gotten any funding, and so I bootstrapped the software. And he's like, man, honestly, you don't need to be an incubator because you're already making money. You already have a proven model. It's past MVP stage. And he's like, I'm going to accept you into the incubator, Atlanta Tech Village. But he was like, come see me in a couple weeks. And so I get in. Mind you, 2 months prior, I had studied Credit Karma. And everybody knows about Credit Karma. And
Yes,
so
sir.
Credit Karma they had been building their software for 12 years. And people thought it was free. And it is free to sign up to Credit Karma. You get access to your credit scores. But here's the thing that I found out. Credit Karma has sold their software for $7.6 billion to Intuit. And so I'm like, okay. And as I was doing my research, I learned that they were making millions of dollars for free signups. So what was happening, they partnered with these companies that offered loans and credit card offers. And so the deal that they structured with these companies was that the company was like, I don't care if they get the card or not. We just want you to have them sign up, and you get paid $100 per sign up.
Wow, bro. For free software.
For free software.
For the user to have it for free. Wow.
But once your credit score hit a certain, threshold, they hey, you qualify for this credit card. You probably seen this on Credit Karma. And so with credit
Yes, sir.
So as I'm understanding this, I have this understanding, and mind you, I'm sharing this with you guys because 2 months prior to me getting into Atlanta Tech Village, I had come into this information. I'm like, wow, I can do that in my software. So I found the companies that they partnered with, and I'm implementing that inside of Creditfixrr, and so I'm like, okay, this is $1 billion software. So when I got in there, he called me into his office maybe like 2 weeks later. I forget this brother's name. I wish I could remember this dude. But this guy has sold an auto software for like $81 million. And so this is how he became an angel investor and stuff.
Yes, sir.
I go in, he's like, man, this software is amazing. So he was like, man, how much you want to sell it for? And he was like, he said, I would like to buy it. I said, what's your offer? And he said, 50 million. And I was like, nah. He was like, well, how much would you sell it for? I said, 7.8 billion. Like, where the you get that number from?
Be transparent, brother. Yes, sir.
I said, well, Credit Karma sold their software for 7.6 billion. And I'm gonna sell 7.8 billion if I was to sell it. And he was like,
to sell it.
He was like, okay. Yeah, if I was to sell it. Right.
Like, yes, sir.
And he was like, okay. And so that's how that conversation went. And that was probably like the main reason why I did it. But mind you, the timing of it, I had recently launched. It had only been released for about, I want to say 6 to 8 months.
Yes, sir.
And so I hadn't seen what Creditfixrr could do. I didn't implement the credit card offers, which I still haven't implemented yet. Man, it was just too new. So I never saw what it could do. And so if a guy, all I know is if a guy's gonna offer me 50 million, and he already know. In fact,
you know the quality of what you got. Yes, sir.
Typically, when companies buy other software, they want your whole team. They buy the whole team, and they might go on for a couple years. So for the transition, he was like, I don't need your team. I just want to buy it from you. I want the rights. I want everything, the code, and I own it. And when he told me that, I had already knew that he's a developer. He's already developed software before. So he already knew like what I had. He's like, I can put my team and I can do this. And I got all the other resources too. I can take this to the moon.
Wow, brother.
So Allah blessed me to see through a lot of those different things and, not get excited about money, and, I know one day, for me, it's like, money is fine, but I want to change a billion lives. You know, I don't want $1 billion. I want to change a billion lives. And that's
Yes,
what,
sir.
you know, I see what you had up there, from offered millions to empowering millions.
Yes, sir.
And I was like, man, empowering billions. That
I'm so sorry, sir. Yes, sir, for sure changes that there, brother. Man, what a great story. Family, when I told you we're going to always bring value, and brother Khabir Muhammad, CEO of Creditfixrr, is here with us today. Family, we're going to take a short 30-second infomercial break. We're going to be right back with our dear brother, CEO of Creditfixrr, Khabir Muhammad. In the economy that we're living in, ladies and gentlemen, it's super important to get financial literacy. And this is what a Rich Education podcast and a Rich Education in general is all about. We want you to be educated. We want you to understand that the economy that we're living in today is no longer our granddaddy's economy or the Brady Bunch economy. So, ladies and gentlemen, it's all about protection. It's all about preservation. And it's all about thriving and being able to withstand all of the ramifications that are upon us in this new economy, and the window is small. So if you're the person who wants to win, if you're the person who wants to fight inflation, if you're the person who wants to preserve what they've been working hard for so many years, I want you to text GSB to 202-770-1668 and also visit www.aricheducation.com for more information. It's time for you to win. It's time for you to thrive, and it's time for you to do more than survive, because we're living in a new economy, and the number one economy is the economy in your home. I want to welcome everyone back to a Rich Education Podcast, episode 7, turning down millions to empower, because he corrected me, billions. And I'd like to be corrected. Our dear brother, CEO of Creditfixrr, Khabir Muhammad. Brother, let's continue on. So much value to bring to the community. Creditfixrr is about empowering individuals to fix their own credit. How does this approach differ from traditional methods of credit repair, and what advantages does it offer to the users?
Yeah, so the approaches aren't necessarily different than what companies offer, right? But I wanted to take that power and put it in the hands of consumers, because so one of the things I learned in this space, in the credit repair industry, is that no one really tried to solve the problem for the consumer. They wanted the consumer to come to them. And my goal was to put the power inside of the consumer's hand, like I was empowered. Once I realized, like, man, this is not that difficult. You know, I realized that, man, I can solve this problem, which is a very difficult problem to solve, because, you know, everybody's situation is different. And so I could understand why nobody wanted to put that type of effort in there, and it would take a while to solve every single nuance. And so, you know, Allah has blessed me to, you know, have the right mindset and the right heart to do it, because I'm not trying to skip any steps, and it may take longer, you know, than it takes like some of these other softwares where they offer just it's B2B. Like for me, it's B2C, but technically it's also B2B as well. A lot of people know is, which I rarely advertise, is Creditfixrr Business, which is a CRM for credit repair companies to use my software. And what most people don't know is a lot of credit repair companies use my software. They come from all these other softwares and they say, man, your software is so much easier. You give so much more value. It's more streamlined. And, you know, a lot just fashioned me from having a skill set of, you know, a developer to really understand the user interface and what people would like to see, you know. And these other companies, they don't necessarily, they're not the creator of it. They hire developers from overseas or somewhere, and they say, hey, I need this feature. And they don't really know how to tie it all in together. So, you know, that's another blessing. That's what, you know, has allowed me to actually create it. Even from the name Creditfixrr, you know, I said, I am the Creditfixrr. The goal is to make you are the Creditfixrr.
That's right. Wow, brother. What a powerful journey with that, bro. Because I was curious myself, you know, what's the difference in that? But something great, you know, I really wanted to talk to you about, brother. And I see this, man, as a key factor in success and having a busy life. And once again, want to thank you, brother, for your time, brother, for being a follower of the Nation of Islam, FOI. For those that don't know, Fruit of Islam is what FOI stands for. How has your faith influenced your entrepreneurial journey, especially in the realm of financial empowerment through Creditfixrr?
Oh man, if it had not been for my faith in in the teachings, you know, I would not even have the thought to even produce this software. You know, there was a lecture that the Honorable Minister Farrakhan gave, and oh man, I can't even remember the lecture. I'm mad I can't. I quote it on this call right now. It might come to me, and if it does, you might know it. But there was he said that in this lecture that he gave, he said thought is real. He said thought is already real. He said, but you have to take that thought and think on the thought. Once you think on that thought, you concretize that thought and bring that thought into reality. And that's the power that God has created us to have and gave us. You know, He allowed us to be gods and to create things from a take of thought and bring into reality. And so I was faced with so many situations where I felt like I didn't know how to do it. But from that understanding, just thinking on the thought, learning how to do it, I always figured out every single portion of how to create something to where now I've developed that power in my mind to where when it comes to technology, there's not a thing that I can't take or a business use case, a thought, and bring it into technology. Like I have developed that power from growing, and there's no doubt. It's like, I want to put this in here, I do that. For example, ChatGPT, nobody had done that before, but I connected ChatGPT inside of Creditfixrr.
Facts, brother. And I surely got your ChatGPT ebook, and most definitely your contact information will be here for the community to connect with you so they can get things straight and connect with this brilliant mind that we have here on the show, brother, because I never knew your complete background. You probably told me, but I just forgot. But we have a mastermind here, and as a CEO, father, and husband, how do you balance that with your professional, commitments with the family life? What strategies or principles have you maintained this balance and ensure success in both areas?
I'm so grateful that you asked that question, because this is a reality that most of us are not familiar with, and we may come into it, and it's like riding a bike. You don't know how to balance it. I've never been a CEO. I've been an employee most of my life up until 2.5 years ago.
Yes, sir.
And when I launched the software and I started working full time with Creditfixrr, and it's not a balance. It wasn't a balance. It was a very difficult time for my marriage, my children, and those are things that weighed heavy on my spirit. As far as like making it to my classes, being an FOI, these are things that, we are taught like your word is bond and your bond is life.
Yes, sir.
And not being able to keep my word on certain things, saying I'm gonna do these things and I don't get to it. It's like, how do you weigh certain things? It's like, I know this thing gonna work, and it's just a thought at this point. I'm like, man, I gotta do this. And people not seeing it. They're not seeing the trials that I'm facing. And it's like, man, brothers looking at me like, man, how this brother just showing up to class? He ain't been here in 2 weeks. And it's like, man, y'all don't understand. Like, I want to be there, and then like, just to circle back to my wife and my children, man, that is they took the biggest, they took the most out of anything. They don't get to see me all the time. I'm always working. And that's that, man, I'm telling you, like, that, it hurts me a lot more than people know, but like, I gotta hold it, and it's something I'm gonna have to face. It's a trade-off. And I heard the minister talk about some of these things, growing up, and it's like, man, okay, I have a semblance of it, obviously to no degree that the minister has faced, but
right, yes, sir.
It's
on that story, yes, sir.
Yeah, it's to answer your question, it hasn't been a good balance, and I've been working. I've definitely gotten a lot better.
Yes, sir.
Better. you know.
Yes.
And as long as you striving to get better and better and better, that's where grace and that mercy comes in. And I'm grateful that Allah is the most merciful, the most graceful.
That's
And
right.
grateful
Yes.
for my wife for doing what she has done, and
Yes,
she's done a lot. And so that's why she's always going to be blessed, from
That's
that.
right, God. Oh man, continue to sex you and the family. Could you tell us about a particular impactful, success story or transformation that Creditfixrr has facilitated for a user and how it made a difference in their life?
Say that one more time.
Can you tell us about a particular impactful success story or transformation that Creditfixrr has facilitated for a user and how it made a difference in their life?
Yeah, what's so interesting is I rarely ever get to hear from the consumers as far as like, hey, this happened. And I'll tell you why. So the software is for consumers to fix their credit themselves.
Right.
And they get in, and it's like when you look at it, it's different from a credit repair company. If you ever see them, they always showing their client scores and stuff.
Right.
I've had thousands of clients that have come through Creditfixrr, and half of them I
Absolutely.
don't hear from. They come in, the software is seamless enough for you to go in, figure out how to import your personal information, upload your credit report, and get busy. And they look at me like a Google or something. Like, I don't know the CEO, I don't talk to them. So, but what I do get is when we have onboarding calls and they say, hey, when they join these onboarding calls, which are free, they're like, man, my score went up 175 points.
Wow.
Thank you.
Wow.
I was like, what? And that's what fulfills me. That's what keeps me going, because a lot of times people will pay thousands of dollars to somebody and don't get no results. And they pay $49 a month or $99 a month if you're gonna have the family plan, which you can add multiple family members. You guys just pay $99 a month, and you guys can get results from doing it yourself. And then also you empowered to do it yourself in case your credit score goes down again. So it's like, to circle back to your question, like, it's when they let me know. They let me know.
That's right, bro. Yes, sir. Wow, bro. Yeah. Powerful, black man. Do for self. And that's the key component to this software, man. You're learning to do for self, take control of your credit, get all the knowledge and information that's needed. Family, this has just been an amazing. I'm sorry, dear brother Khabir, did you have a comment?
Yes, I'm glad you said do for self. If you looked at some of my older shirts, these are newer shirts, but the older ones I had do for self in the back of it. And obviously we know where that came from.
Absolutely. All praise due to God. That's right. Do for self.
So it's foundationally built with empowering people for you to look in the mirror and say, yo, I got this, I can do this. And so that do for self model is what this software is rooted in.
And I love that, brother. And we have to do for self in today's time. It's mandatory. And with that being said, great people, we're going to take a 30-second infomercial break here with our great brother, our CEO, our father, our champion. This brother is just amazing. That's just been so much I've been learning today with Creditfixrr. And I'm excited about this. From offering millions to empowering billions. I had to be corrected on that. We'll be right back. I want to welcome everyone back to A Rich Education Podcast, episode 7. What a great episode 7. Creditfixrr unveiled from offered millions to empowering billions. Our great brother, Khabir Muhammad. Big brother, it's been an amazing show today, brother. And I always like to take the shows out with just a take from yourself on what you want to share, what you've been sharing, just jewels today, but just what you want to bring to the community more to get in touch with you and just some empowering words to move people forward. Because we talked about do for self, so important, especially in today's economy where we see America's downfall. That's not anything new. I mean, it's just the mindset that we've been put in. But that key mindset that you talked about, do for self, because as America goes in her position, which was talked about in scriptures, talked about from the messenger, talked about today with the blessing we still have of the presence of the most honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, the words that you want to take us out with for today's podcast, dear brother Khabir.
Oh, yes, sir. Yes, sir. Well, first of all, I want to say this. You know, I'm truly honored. I'm not sure if I said this earlier, but I am truly honored to be on this podcast. I'm thank you for inviting me to be on this podcast. And, you know, secondly, I want to say that, you know, we have been blessed, you know, especially those of us that have been raised under the teachings of the most honorable Elijah Muhammad, Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, you know, through the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. We have been so blessed because we have been given such a wisdom that has carried us through these times, you know, so safely, right? Because, you know, just even the thought of the words do for self, you know, this world is going out, and a lot of people think it's just going out. You know, it's not going out because they can't see how it's going out, but it's actually a transition. But doing for self has allowed us, having that thought in mind has allowed us to seamlessly not even realize the transition that's happening, because this world is going out, but it doesn't matter. As long as you know how to solve problems, you don't have to worry about money. You don't have to worry about things. When you learn how to do for self and solve problems, you are good anywhere you go, whether the currency change, whether the gold or anything come into play. You are good, you know. And so these teachings just taught us to think like a God. And so God don't worry about money. God looks at things and say, hey, I'm going to solve this. I want to create that. I want to build here. I want to own this. And so I say that to say that, you know, all of us have that power. And I want us, and it's not enough of us that are living in that power. But and that has always been the root of why I even created Creditfixrr, because I wanted to show people that you can do something, whatever you got in your mind. That what I said earlier, that thought you have in your mind, don't let it just come and go. Hold that thought, think on the thought, and concretize that thought until it comes into physical reality. And all of us can do this. And so that has been like my goal in producing this software. And as long as I stay on that with that thought in mind, Allah has been blessing me and blessing me and blessing me. And things come when they come. Like this, I've grown to be on podcasts. You know, all my haters, they just there, and I don't even have to worry about them. You know,
yes, sir.
And you know, that's the message I want to leave. But man, if you guys want to try out Creditfixrr, you guys can go to www.creditfixrr.com. You guys can reach me on any social media platform, and it's at Creditfixrr. That's Creditfixrr. Man, I guess I'm getting kind of big because now I got these scammers that's, you know, on Instagram.
Hey, brother, come on, man! billions of dollars software. Come on back, man! You right here in this major shift that's taking place with AI and the brilliant brain that you got sitting on your shoulders, man. Absolutely, yeah. So watch them scammers, y'all.
Yeah. So make sure it say Creditfixrr. Man, I get people reaching out to me from the UK, from in Canada. They reach out to me all the time. Can we use this software in Canada? Can we use this software in the UK? And technically you can. But as of right now, like the focus has been on the US. You know, we got to start at home. I even had, when I was in Kenya a couple years ago, when I was building software, a guy saw me in a coffee shop and he was like, man, we have credit out here. He was a developer. We have credit out here. And man, we would love to have this software out here in Canada. So it's credit everywhere. So that's why this software just, you know, even taking an approach to, you know, help consumers fix their own credit. Man, this thing is global. So, it's truly a blessing.
Truly a blessing, brother. And we can't thank you enough for your presence today at a Rich Education Podcast. It's been such a blessing, dear brother. And just one more time, I want people to get it, even though it's going to be in the description. Please share the website for Creditfixrr one more time for us, dear brother.
Yeah, so Creditfixrr is www.creditfixrr.com. It's a software that empowers consumers with the knowledge, the tools, and the resources to fix and manage your own credit and to help you achieve higher credit scores.
Is anyone able to get some of the merch that you have on? Do you have a site for the merch? Is that separate, brother? Look, I gotta get me a shirt, brother.
So I'm gonna send you. Actually, you know me, so I do got some shirts.
Hey, man, come on, bro. I gotta push my brother. Absolutely, bro. You have any polos?
Man, I do have polos, but those are just testers. I just want to get them tested. So I got like a couple polos. They're not in my office, but yeah, man, it's so much going on. Oh, I'm going on a tour with Jacquees, the singer, in a couple of days.
Okay.
Weeks. Yeah. So
this will be on a Twitter live.
Huh?
You said Twitter?
No, tour. Like
you go on tour?
Yes, sir.
With the artists?
Yeah.
Okay, God, yes, sir. Okay, so most definitely the community will be able to follow you, follow everything that you're doing, because I'm going to have all of your contact information in the description of this. Dear brother, we can't thank you enough for your presence once again, and it's just been a blessing. May Allah continue to bless you on this beautiful journey of empowering individuals, and also bless that beautiful family, you and your God. She's a God.
Yes,
giving birth to God.
Yes, sir.
Continue to bless the family, brother. I want to thank you again for your presence, dear brother, as we bring the show to a close today. Thank you, brother Khabir.
Thank you, sir.
Yes, sir. Assalamu alaikum. What an amazing show today, great people. Hey, look, no excuse. Like we stated, do for self. So those issues you think you have, you've seen the brilliant mind that has put together the software for you to do it yourself with Creditfixrr. And once again, all of his information will be in the description below. I want to thank you all for your time. And remember, another day, another opportunity. Where there's life, there's hope. And failure comes, ladies and gentlemen. I've mentioned this, and I'll always end it with this. Failure comes from, and your life is shaped through the information that you've received and the information that you have rejected. Once again, I want to thank everyone for tuning in with episode 7 at A Rich Education Podcast. Everyone have a safe day and a great journey.
Yeah, I'm kind of done. Yeah. Icon music. Come and get some supreme wisdom. If the black man ain't God, there is none. Come and get some supreme wisdom. If the black man ain't God, there is none. Hey, yo, stop the killing black man with the quickness. You already dead and you died from a sickness. But a sickness can't be cured with the right stuff. And there ain't no stuff that's quite like us. We got the medicine Muhammad gave us. The only thing on the earth that can save us. So bring us back to life from the dead and replace the chains in our brains with a new head. Full of truth to make falsehood disperse. And run away from the God of the universe. Follow the FOI when you know why. The truth for fruit in suits and a bow tie. Have the cure for when we deliver it. The Uncle Toms and the so-called niggas get jealous and tell us y'all must be crazy. Nobody but Jesus Christ can save me.
No, it's the truth. The minute you listen, I'm talking to you. It's the supreme wisdom. No, it's the truth.
If the black man ain't God, there is none. Come and get some supreme wisdom. If the black man ain't God, there is none. Visit Muhammad's mosque if you're lost in a hell of a cause. Not the so-called Holocaust, and come and get some supreme wisdom. God is a black man and there is none who could dispute me. Whenever I drop it, it came from Elijah. He was more than a prophet, sent by God with the last battle cry. Chapter 4, 5th verse in the book of Malachi. Told you the messenger was coming to save you from the hell the goddamn white man gave you. The wicked deceiver deceived the believers. Robbed the whole world and called him a leader. Stole my history and it gets to me. I told the slaves that God was a mystery. I gotta go out and do the work I need to do. My sole purpose in life is to raise you, then deliver you to the Lamb of God who came in the person of Master Farad. Muhammad got the devil on the run, reminding us 6,000 years are here and the time is up. The final call gets loud like a trumpet, telling you what to do or you're done with. You goddamn grab the devil made to rebel and be a rebel back when y'all two plays with metal.
No, it's the truth. The minute you
bloodshed and mischief in the land, murdered and slayed us, straight up played us, the devil he raped us, then they gave us Christianity, the white man's fantasy. You call it the religion of God, but how can it be? Jesus Christ could have never been a Christian, and if he was, what was Moses' religion? Come on, Reverend Pork Chop, please stop and tell the truth, cause the youth and hip-hop are tired of you, and the so-called chosen Jew. The wicked 10% are robbing the multitudes, 85% are blind, deaf, and dumb, but the 5% know where you came from. You are of your father, the devil go dead in the Bible and live on another level.
You know it's the truth. The minute you listen, you're talking to you. It's the supreme wisdom. You know it's the truth.
If the black man ain't God, there is none. Come and get some supreme wisdom. If the black man ain't God, there is none. Listen to the words that I put in your ear. Only heaven or hell that you see will be right here, not up in the sky in the vine by after you die. Whoever told you a lie. You need something sound on the ground while you're still around. Here is supreme wisdom for the lost found. Nation of Islam in the West, living in the hills in the wilderness of North America, the brand new Babylon. Looks to me like a job for Farrakhan. Farrakhan. Don't make me have to say it again. We at the end of the white man's time, the white man's rule, the white man's mind, the white man's money, the white man's crime. In fact, the whole world of the white man's guy.
You know it's the truth.